Have you ever looked at yourself in the place that you are currently in and just wondered and thought, I should be so much further right now? Maybe you're comparing your timeline to your brother, your sister, your friends, or just people that are on social media, maybe even me, right? Question your worth because you're like, I'm not where they are. I should be so much further. I should be doing so many things. And maybe you've even asked God, like, why does it feel like everybody else is progressing? Or why is it that I was progressing and now I'm standing still? Yes, I've been there and I am coming out of it. But let me remind you something. And something that took me so long, many years and tears to fully grasp and understand. You're not behind. We are not behind. We are, in fact, becoming. We live in a world that is so fast paced that we are just, us is measured by milestones, where it's a marriage by 30, career by 35, kids by 36, home ownership, vacations, milestone after milestone after milestone. And it gets to the point where if you miss one, it feels like something's wrong with you. If if you do one and then you're not successful at it, it's like you failed at everything, right? But what if I told you this? Something that I learned, and it again, it took me a long time to get here. But what if I told you that your journey was never meant to look like anybody else's? Your journey is just that. It's yours. And there are going to be times where you are going to simply be delayed. You're going to be frustrated. And there are going to be things that are going to build you and shape you and mold you. And that's your character. That's your faith. It's building your depth. See, growing and evolving, it doesn't always necessarily look like it's in motion. Sometimes we just actually have to be still. Sometimes it looks like the failing. Some sometimes we are failing, or it looks like we're failing, or it feels like we're failing because we need an opportunity to be rebuilt into this version that is stronger, softer, wiser. Sometimes it looks like we're being isolated and we're left alone, but the reality is it's so that God can speak with us without the distractions. There are seasons where I was stuck, or I felt like I was stuck. But looking back now, I realized that I wasn't stuck. I was actually surrendering. I was in a position where I was removing layers of things and characteristics and just things about myself that I thought that I needed to be at that point in time in my life. And then I finally learned to embrace who I was actually holding back, and had put my own self into this box because I wanted to be something for so long for somebody else instead of really truly being that someone that I needed to be, which was becoming her for me. And when I finally took the time, took that silence, took that opportunity to unlearn, made up an opportunity to be kind to myself and heal when nobody was looking, when nobody was clapping, when I was just sitting still and being present in the darkness by myself. Because the reality is that no one's going to be a part of that journey with you. You have to do these things by yourself and for yourself alone. Because growth isn't about being loud. It's about being real. It doesn't mean that you're not powerful. It means that you are aligning. You're not behind. You're with God. You're with your purpose. You're finding your purpose, which ultimately leads to your peace. I want you to release the pressure, release the timeline that you created for yourself that was based off of someone else is doing, whether it was from childhood or something that you were taught within a job that you had or a previous relationship. It's learning that once you release the guilt, once you release the shame, comparison of others, because God is not in a hurry and He's not comparing you to anyone else. He's more concerned about who you are and who you are becoming rather than who you're going to be and how long it takes you to get there. So, if all you did today was just wake up and take a deep breath and said, God, I thank you. God, I trust you. That's progress. That's evolution. Don't be afraid because you're not behind. You're being refined. You're not late. You were learning and you still are. You're not less than. This is just a chapter that requires you to have more grace than noise. So let me remind you this. Your journey matters. And even in the slow parts, you're growing. Because the truth of it, because the truth of the matter is, none of us have it all figured out. We're just growing so that we can evolve. So do this. Be bold, be you, grow. Until next time, walk wisely, stay bold, and keep evolving. I love you, sis. Bye.